Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to another show for you guys today. In this video, we are just going to be discussing the last 14 games and the next 10 coming up as well, because it's very easy to spam streams and to just talk about the same things back and forth when things aren't going our way and things are negative and there's plenty of things to talk about. But same way, when things are good, we should be able to sit here and just be able to discuss that as well. So I want to discuss the last 14 games under Thomas Tuchel and the amazing turnaround for Chelsea for this season. And I also want to talk about our potential for all three of the remaining competitions that we're still in: the Champions League, the FA Cup, maybe not the Premier League, but you know what I mean in terms of the Premier League table, because we still could potentially move up a few paces. But we didn't stream yesterday because there just wasn't any news, literally nothing to talk about. I'm going to be real with you guys too. If you are here for some breaking news, there isn't any breaking news. We're just here to talk about the last 14 games and predict the next 10 after that. There is no news. It's international break. It's that time of the period that all content creators in football hate. There's nothing to talk about. But we're going to talk about Chelsea anyway. Scott, first off, chat to me. How you been, bro?
I've been good. Not been able to watch. I watched a bit of the Sheffield United game the other day. Enjoyed watching that. But yeah,
oh yeah, you missed the game, didn't you? Great shout.
I watched the first half, and that was it, unfortunately. But it was. I thought the first half was decent. Didn't see the rest, so I'm not entirely sure how the rest went. But yeah, I'm good. I'm enjoying watching Chelsea again.
Like I'm gonna be real with you. That Sheffield United game, it was 2 goals and just watching paint dry for the rest of it. But no. I don't blame Tuchel. I don't blame the players. I also don't really care too much because it was Sheffield United in the cup, and you know we're going to go through against them anyway. It's just after a game against Atletico Madrid, big last 16-second leg tie. I don't blame them for the motivation levels having dropped for a game against bottom of the table Sheffield United in the cup game that we really and truly should be winning with any sort of lineup. It is what it is. Sadiq, as well, welcome back to the channel, my guy. What are you saying?
I'm good, man. How are you?
All good, bro. All good. Just trying to get through the international break one day at a time, as always. And Johnny, head of the Hive himself, chat to me, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Waiting for these 11 days to go by quickly. That's what I'm doing. I'm ready for the Chelsea to go on carry on their amazing run. But yeah, all positive vibes, man. All positive vibes, guys.
Yeah, all positive vibes. You know what? Let's keep the positivity going as well, because one news we can speak about was a certain Athletic article that came out yesterday that I'm sure you must have known of yourself. Mason Mount as potential captain for the future. Yeah. Now, how does that make you feel, bro?
I mean, to be honest with you, I've been saying it for ages. It's inevitable. It will happen. I think. Look, it's not going to happen as long as Azpilicueta is here and playing regularly. But Asby will fade out, and Thiago is not going to be there past next season, and we don't even know if Jorginho is going to be there past next season. So, yeah, he's the next ranking in my opinion, and it's great to hear, like, buzzing for him. He's definitely his Chelsea DNA. He's through and through Chelsea. The guy deserves it, man. He absolutely deserves it. And in a couple of years' time, yeah, he's going to have all the experience that's needed to be a fantastic captain for us going forward.
Yeah, the one thing I read from the Athletic article that really stuck in my mind too is how the club view Mason Mount as like a perfect role model for other academy players who are trying to get their way into the first team. And for them to see a player like Mason Mount, who's still in the first team, who's still regularly getting game time, regardless of whatever manager's in the squad, regularly getting praise and regularly being one of the first players of the team sheet, how do you feel like that would make him more of a captain in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the logic behind that. And obviously, like, we know JT was the last to come through the academy and obviously be our leader and our captain, obviously our legend, but we haven't really had anyone come through like that since. They've all kind of faded away. But with Money Mace, he literally, his mentality has just got no ceiling. He literally, he's going to go far. He's going to go very far. He's doing all the right things. Every manager is absolutely loving him. And I mean, the Sheffield game wasn't the best the best of games or best performance from him. He was okay. He was average, like most of the rest of the team, with all the changes. But you could see like he was vocal on the pitch, and he leads by example for sure. Like he's got everything in his locker, and he's only just turned 22, so he's got a long career ahead of himself, and I think Tuchel's going to manage him well, as we're seeing right now, and that's going to benefit him. But obviously, he's highly respected by Tuchel. He was respected by Lamps, as we know. So all this Sun talk can sort of go out the window for me. I think he just needs a bit more respect now.
Now, for me, I'd run with the Lampard son thing because that's a very high ceiling in itself. Like everyone says, an insult. He's Frank Lampard's son. If he even becomes half like his dad does, he's a success. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Big up Thatcher as well. The donation saying, "Stay tuned, people. Only takes one player to create fireworks." And let's go into the talk about Chelsea this season. And first off, let's just start with the obvious question. We want to talk about Thomas Tuchel's impact. 14 games he's been in charge of Chelsea. 12 clean sheets, 10 wins, and we look back to our unbeatable best. Defensively, we've been solid. We've been so unbreakable. Our midfield has been amazing in controlling and dictating play. And even N'Golo Kante starting to drop big performances as well for himself. First off, and it's an easy question, I'm just going to go to Scott. Talk to me about the difference in Thomas Tuchel's system compared to Frank Lampard and the results that it's achieving as well.
It's very, very simple, and that's that he knows how to tactically instruct the players. It's not, you can't simply go out and tell 11 players on a pitch to, express yourselves, do whatever you need to do, like basically give them no instruction. You can't do that. That might work in lower leagues, like that might work in the Championship at certain teams, because depending like a Watford maybe, because you can clearly see that they've got one of the best squads in the Championship. That might work. It doesn't work in the Premier League. It doesn't matter what level of thing you're at. Like, it doesn't work. And I think that you can clearly see he's set us up. He's seen what our frailties are, and that's defensively we haven't been good enough. And he's set us up to combat those frailties. I was watching a stream last night of the United guys talking about Ollie and about how his system doesn't, it just highlights the frailties. Whereas Tuchel's got that mind to know, right, I'm going to, like, this player might not be good at this thing, so I'm not going to get him to do something that's going to give him that problem. Like Alonso, for example, we know how bad he is defensively. So, all right, cool. I'm going to make it so he doesn't have to defend quite as much and allow him to get forward, which is what he's better at. With Jorginho, I know that, again, defensively, he's not the best sometimes, but I'm going to put him in a system. I'm going to set him up and instruct him so that he, A, looks better defensively, and B, even if he gets caught out, it's not too much of a trouble. It's not too much worry. It's about having that tactical knowledge to set up a team. It's what Klopp does. You look at all the players he's got there. Some players he's got aren't quite up there technically, or aren't quite up there in terms of how they are as footballers, but you don't notice it. Apart from this season, because of certain things, but you don't really notice it. That's what Tuchel's done. Set a team up so you don't know their frailties, and it highlights their strengths.
Yeah, and that's been the biggest part of our success so far as well. The fact that we're not really putting square pegs in round holes like we used to do in Frank Lampard's system, and that was the most frustrating part because we could clearly see the way that we were playing. It wasn't getting the best out of the players, and the players weren't receiving it as well. And now we're playing a style of play that, yeah, it's not as attacking as Lampard's. Yeah, we don't really make as much chances, but we're making better chances. We're dominating the ball more, and we're playing smarter with it as well. And I think that's been the biggest difference for us. We just have to play smart instead of just trying to play our brand of football regardless of the team that we face, because we've seen too many times that the Premier League isn't that sort of an open league where you can just try and throw everybody out there and try and get a result. It doesn't work like that. You have to be multidimensional, and we just weren't that. I do want to say to everyone else who is asking about the stream link, we're going to be opening up the lines at around 3:30. Sadiq, I'll go to you as well, and we'll focus on the defensive side for this one. Talk to me about the back three, because the question also here down below saying, should we buy a defender or stick to our current backline players? And really and truly, with the players that we have right now, unless it's a world-class defender who could walk past everybody into the team except maybe a Thiago Silva, I don't even think we need to go for a centre-back right now. Rudiger's balling out, Christensen's balling out, Azpilicueta's balling out. You've got Thiago Silva literally on the bench right now, which is just showing how well the other three are playing. And we've got other options potentially coming through the academy as well. So talk to me about how much more confident you've been in our back three since the switch from Lampard to Tuchel, and whether you still want to see us get another defender in as well.
Yeah, first of all, everyone's tuned in. We've got over 100 people in. Smash that like button. You think Chelsea will get a double or even the Champions League maybe. Send in super chats if you want to support the channel as well.
And check out Worldwide Chelsea's channel in the title too.
Love, my love. First of all, back three is changed it up. The defense look like world-class defenders right now. I know it's how many games have it been? It's been about 10 to 12 games now, I think it is. But regardless, clean sheets, left, right, centre. And in a back three, I don't really know what defender can come in regardless. But if we move to a back two, then question marks have to be asked whether the current defenders can do the same job. Now, I'm not going to disrespect AC Hive, AR Hive. I'm not going to disrespect any of those Hives because they've been absolute brilliant. But I'm more worried about the next season where Thomas Tuchel could change it to a back four and who's going to be our best partnership. And I think that's where the question comes in. Do we need to sign a defender? It's hard to basically judge it from there.
Yeah, so in the case of a back two, then who are you worried about? Because obviously no one's worried about Thiago Silva, and we've seen good games off all three of them, to be honest. So who are you actually worried about in that formation?
Well, to be fair, we've only seen Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma do well in the back two initially. Under Frank Lampard, AC and AR didn't really do too well, but maybe that's because of the manager. So I kind of need to see under Thomas Tuchel how we play. It also might affect, players like Jorginho that have more time on the ball when it's free at the back. So these are things that we have to be very careful of because in the back three, there's no question we don't need anyone to change. Like we don't need to sign anyone. Like back three are all performing. And there's even talks about Christian playing the right centre back and then Thiago Silva coming back into the middle or something like that. Those are the talks right now. So I'm only worried about next season. That's it. And the formation if we change it.
Yeah, cool. And Johnny, we'll go and switch into the midfield now with this because we've already spoken about defense. We've spoken about the system too. Talk to me about the midfield. And we're still trying to figure out who our best midfield two is now because for a long time, we're all set on Jovicic. We saw that Kante is a great individual player, but he didn't have the same level of chemistry with a Kovacic or a Jorginho as they do when they're both together. But that Atletico Madrid game really threw a spanner in that. And now I'm thinking, what is our best midfield two again now? Because the performance we saw from N'Golo Kante against Atletico is probably the best individual midfield performance we've seen since Tuchel's joined. And that sort of performance really can't be ignored. So what's your thoughts on the change in midfield and the change in confidence of midfield too? Because let's be real, under Frank Lampard, all of our midfielders looked so washed, especially the last few weeks. Jorginho was struggling to have any impact. Mateo Kovacic was barely showing any work rate in the midfield third. N'Golo Kante was still coming in and out of injuries. What's your thoughts?
I mean, obviously, like we're on such a good run. It's all good, really. The only thing that I'm not happy with regarding our midfield is there are not enough goals from midfield. So, like, our front line hasn't really been on it all season, and only Mount has really, I think, scored like 2 or 3 goals outside the box, and that's been it. I just feel in control in the game, and obviously we thought was it. It was like, oh, they're inseparable, but obviously Kante is it's like he's come back to old Kante. Amazing performances recently. And the fact that he can play with Jorginho, it is a spanner in the works. I agree. I think it all depends on really our opposition. So Tuchel will tweak it however way he sees it, and also how the front three line up as well. Because I feel like when you've got Kante, Jorginho, and maybe a Giroud, it's not going to quite work as well as having a Havertz there as a false nine who can drop in and sort of work with them. Like I think it was the Everton game. I'm pretty sure it was Kante and Jorginho, if
I
I'm not mistaken.
think so, but I think it was Jovicic. I'm gonna have a check quick.
Have a check. And then obviously if you have Kovacic
It was
and Jorginho,
Jovicic.
it was Jovic, was it? Really? Okay, so so that's quite fluid. And then for the Atletico game, it wasn't. We didn't have we had Kovacic and Kante, right?
Mm.
So yeah, I mean they all work. I think it's like the back three really. You know, you take Rudiger out, you take Christensen out, you put Zuma in. You know, you switch it around. It's like the system just It's like all the players suit this system. It's just madness, except for maybe the wing backs. We struggle a little bit with, but if Alonso's not playing for sure. Apart from that, midfield's like doing all right, just not enough goals for me. That's it, really.
Yeah, no, that's the thing as well, and it's going to lead to the front three too. So, do you think the midfield duo is more dependent on basically the opposition we play, as compared to the chemistry that they both have?
Yeah, I do.
All right, cool. And then with the attack as well, because we're only just starting to see attacks that we actually start to like now. We had the Everton game with the Callum Hudson-Odoi, Havertz, and Werner trio, which was the most, I still say, is the most fluid front three that we've seen all season, to be honest. But even then, we still had struggles with our finishing and everything. And low key, and this is also leading into the real question where how far you see Chelsea going this season. When do you think we're going to start getting more clinical again? Because really, when I see how far our potential is for this season, how far we could actually go, the only thing that's holding us back is probably our finishing. And I feel that's probably going to be the only thing that stops us from achieving our optimum goals for the season. Yeah,
I agree. I think actually, although the international breaks come now, I've just got this feeling that maybe it's good for Werner, it's good for Havertz, it's good for Mount, for everyone to just have a breakaway, actually try and have a good game, maybe nick a goal, and come back. I don't think it's going to affect our momentum. I think Tuchel's got them together in this kind of. They've got this mentality of we're not going to get beat, we're not conceding goals, and it is just the final third. And I think it will click, and it's starting to. Like Ziyech is coming into form. He was the last one I thought that would, to be honest with you. But he scored 2 goals in a row now, and he's looking more and more confident. So I think the goals will come, and I'm very confident in what we can achieve right now. I think there's not many teams that want to play us in Europe because of how well set up we are. And I think once we do start scoring 2-3 goals, maybe the West Brom game could be the game where we actually, score 3 goals and win the game comfortably, playing fluidly. That could be the sort of catalyst to us pushing forward to be up for the Cities and the Portos, potentially the Real Madrids and whoever we're going to play. Because I think we will progress past Porto in the Champions League. I think the City game, I kind of wanted City actually. I just think that out of all the teams in the Premiership right now, Chelsea are the one team that could probably beat City. Even though we know they're on fire, they're playing really well.
But we are the closest. I get that.
Yeah, I think right now in form, like we're just playing as a team, and I haven't seen that for a long time. So that's why I feel more comfortable. And obviously, you've heard. I don't know if you guys heard Pulisic's comments of sort of this kind of like ride or die mentality. How the squad really like got such a good run on that they just feel like they can beat anyone, and that's what you need to be successful. And it's very hard to gain that, but it's very easy to lose it as well at the same time. So yeah, like I'm really up to it. I think we can go all the way in Champions League. I've said it for a long time. I really do think we can. Kind of luck of the draw as well. who actually comes on it through on the other side. But yeah, like if you said to me, what would you prefer? Obviously, Champions League final than an FA Cup final, but who knows? It's interesting though. If we don't lose a game from now to the end of the season, potentially we could be winning 2 cups, and top 4 is officially in our hands. It's officially up to us now whether we grasp that with both our hands, because it's in our hands. Like if the league table was to finish today, we would qualify for Champions League. So like it's amazing, like fantastic. I'm really buzzing for it.
Yeah, I wanted to say as well, because the Man City game comes at the perfect opportunity, and one of the reasons why we feel so optimistic about the Champions League is that 3 of the 4 favourites are all in the other bracket, which already means that 2 as a maximum are already out before we even reach the final. Now, Manchester City is one of the 4 teams in that bracket. They're also one of the favourites to the Champions League this season as well. And we face Manchester City 3 or 4 days after the second leg against Porto. So for me, it's like if we can go through against Porto and then we can beat Manchester City, you could potentially be semi-finalists themselves at that point. Imagine the sort of confidence that instills for the team, that not only can they go through and win the FA Cup, they've just beaten one of the potential Champions League finalists in a one-off match. Exactly the same sort of scenario that it would have been in the Champions League final as well. Scott, what's your thoughts?
I agree. I think that at the time when I saw we got City, I was a bit worried, just because you obviously want to face them as sort of as late as possible. But it is a good test, and I think considering between now and the end of the season, we could face them 4 times, I think.
3 times, I think, yeah.
Yeah, we could actually. I didn't even deep that.
I was saying, and I almost wish the league game. Actually, do I? No, I think having the FA Cup game as the first one is actually good, because even if we lose that, it's a good test to see, right, where did we lose that? Because if we lose we don't win the FA Cup, it's not the end of the world. I'd much rather either get top 4 or win a Champions League, because that getting top 4 could mean we sign an Erling Haaland or we sign whoever. Whereas winning an FA Cup won't do that. So having the FA Cup game first, I think, is good, because it means we can see how we play against them, what wasn't so good, what was good. Try and, as I said before with the tactics thing, try and take away the negatives, highlight the positives for the league game, and then should we get to the final and face them, then that will be the ultimate test at the very end of the season. So I've said it before after the Atletico Madrid game. There's no reason why we can't win the Champions League. There's no reason why we can't win the FA Cup. It's all about doing what we've done so far and just having that tiny bit more clinical. Our strikers being more clinical at the other end. But I'd say we're starting to see more. We're starting to come good with certain things. Like, even though, as you said, the Sheffield United game was watching paint dry, we still came through that, scored 2 goals. Like the Atletico Madrid game, scored 2 goals. And as someone mentioned, I can't remember who, we're coming into games now where we should be scoring multiple goals. West Brom, Crystal Palace, Fulham on the 1st of May, we should be scoring goals. And that's just about coming into the right time, where we'll then face the big teams to potentially either secure top 4 or win things.
Yeah, big up the football state as well, saying, can you touch upon the Haaland updates if you don't mind? Is there even a Haaland update?
Not for us.
The
Only
Madrid.
updates I've seen. I said the only updates I've seen is that City are interested, or I think, and Real Madrid are interested. That's about it. I think I've seen.
Well, that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I thought the Spanish clubs were broke. That's half the reason why we were thinking of getting in this summer, unless they've got players that they already want to offload.
To be fair, for me, the thing with the Real Madrid one as well is I would bet anyone on this panel, anyone in the comments, 50 quid here and now, that should he go there while Zidane's in charge, he don't play.
Haaland?
Yeah. Have you seen what they did with Jovic, man?
Yeah.
They brought in Jovic, who was the most informed striker in the world, I think, when they bought him, for him to fucking sit on a bench and then play an aging Benzema.
Yeah,
I don't know
Benzema is
he was in right now. Haaland's got to be in different level to that.
You say that, man, but like
he loves Benzema, Lewis, man.
he loves the old
Absolutely
guard. Why do you think fucking Marcelo's still playing, despite being shit? Man, he's got some obsession with playing the old players.
Then you know what? I hope Haaland builds on that. Then that's the only thing I can say because fucking hell, like I can't imagine a scenario with Haaland on the bench right now, not in this form. I could get an adjustment to another league and everything, but not really a player of that quality because he's more clinical than Jovic is, if we're being honest about it.
Yeah, no, he is.
He's the definition of the word, isn't it? I don't see it. I don't see him going to any of the Spanish clubs, to be honest. And half the reason for that is because they're all struggling to get money anyway.
Yeah, they don't have the money.
Struggling through losses this year. That's why it was only meant to be Chelsea or Manchester City. If we lose Haaland to anybody, we lose him to City or he stays at Dortmund.
That's the thing. I'd say right now there's only 3 teams that can actually afford him.
PSG, City,
PSG, us, and City.
Yeah,
maybe Man United, but he's not going. He's not touching Man United with a barge pole.
no.
PSG will go for Aguero and or Messi, and then it's just us or City. And I don't think City are willing to pay the 120 million because
They've never spent that, have they? They've never really spent like.
I want to say. What is there?
I think it's like 70 million is the most they've spent on a player.
Isn't it? Wasn't it? Laporte was their most expensive signing.
I think so. No, I don't know. I can't tell you.
What Roger was quite a bit, wasn't he?
Oh no, Ruben Diaz, 64 million is their most expensive signing.
Yeah, I mean,
well, fair play. At least that one's come
and it's
out.
going to cost them double that to sign Haaland.
Yeah,
like they've got the money for it, but they just don't do those signings.
And if Aguero goes, they lose Aguero's wages, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think he's. I mean, look, you could stick any striker in City the way they play, but I don't see him as a pet player. Do you know what I mean? You look at all his strikers over the years, and Haaland isn't really that profile.
Well, I hope it stays that way because I want us to get Haaland this summer anyway. Big up to Shalista with the super chat saying, listen, Chelsea might not thank me, but get the contract extension out. Put it on the table, let him sign it. Tommy's at the wheel, man. Chelsea are back. I cannot be asked for this Rio Ferdinand copy-paste. But I appreciate it anyway. Sadiq, thank you for hopping on, bro. I know you need to head off. You take care of yourself, bro.
Take care,
Big up, Sadiq, bro.
Last thing before we open the lines out and get everyone else's opinion, thoughts on the Premier League, because we're all focusing on the cup competitions now, but we still have to make sure we get our job done in the Premier League. The good thing for us right now is our next 5 games are extremely winnable, except maybe the West Ham game. But every other game we should be going out there and getting 3 points, no questions asked. It's just the last 4 games, and that's going to come into account with the semi-finals too. So with that in mind, what do you think is best for Chelsea right now? Just consolidate top 4 in itself? Or do you think that there's the potential for us to go for 3rd place or to go for 2nd place? Because right now we're 5 points off 3rd place, 6 points off 2nd place. So there is the potential. Leicester City also have a tough final 3 games this season, just like we do. And they face those too. So that's a big 6-pointer in itself. 3rd place there's a potential for. What are your thoughts on 2nd?
I mean... Why not? I'd say. Why can't we? Obviously, it's dependent on how United and Leicester do. I think West Ham, you'll see, they'll start to slip away. Tottenham, I mean, what are they? 3 or 4 points behind us? I can't see them. Everton, I can't see. So, yeah. United, I don't know. United, man, they can drop points. I don't know what their fixtures are like, but they've got the Europa League games. Yeah, I think it's possible the way we're playing, but we'd have to literally just go on like a winning run. Like if we win all our games, I think we can. But is it realistic with the cup competitions in between to win all our games, especially with one of those games being City, West Ham away, which is a bit of a side for us, well, we've seen in the past. And who's our last game?
Our last game is Aston Villa away.
Another one. So yeah, I mean, probably take a draw for City. West Ham, I just want to thrash them, to be honest. Yeah, I think we can. Is to answer your question. I don't see why not. I wanted to make the point actually because I think Scott, you made the point that although we played pretty average and poor against Sheffield, how many times have we seen Chelsea go and play like Champions League football, midweek games, and then play a Premiership or Cup game at the weekend, and we either lose that game or just drop points, and we've actually played poor, made 8 changes, and won the game comfortably 2-0, and that is for me that's quite a big thing going forward now for the rest of our season. So I just thought I'd give a little shout out to the team, to the squad for that, because I think that's very hard to do. You saw United; they lost, didn't they? From midweek.
Yeah, they lost their midweek game.
Yeah,
and that's the hardest part, going from the midweek to Sunday fixtures as well.
Yeah.
That, to be fair, no, but United actually being in the Europa League might actually help us in that point.
That's what I think. Yeah.
They've got to win that, because otherwise, like, it's a failure of a season.
Yeah.
To basically finish exactly the same place, finish 20 points or whatever it is off City, not win anything, it's a failure of a season. That's why, for me, I genuinely, as long as we finish in the top 4, say again.
Only for the fans, though. Like, you got to realise the board.
Well, I agree, but I agree it's only for the fans, but it does get to a point where the more the fans complain about stuff like that, then the more the board have to listen.
The board don't care, Scott. They don't care, man.
This is the thing. I agree they don't care, but they'll care when it starts affecting sales, when shirt sales aren't as high, when season ticket numbers aren't as high, when, I don't know, like, when they start losing money because people don't want to go to grounds and watch the shit that they're watching because it's shit, then it will start becoming a problem. But for me, that's why unless it's first, I don't care. As long as we finish top 4, I don't care where we finish in the top 4. I don't care if it's third, second, whatever. Like, I'd much rather we finish third, 4th, and win something, because at the end of the day,
do you think we can though, Scott? Do you think the way we're playing now, do you not think, like, or out of the 3 teams, Leicester, out of United and Leicester, I think United are more likely to drop points currently, but with Leicester you just never know, and with us I think we have got the ability to literally win all our games, so it's minus City.
I'm not saying, like, I think we've got the ability to win all games, but what I'm saying is, like, say for example we get a draw against like West Ham, or we draw against Arsenal on the 12th of May, I don't care at that point. If we've got top 4 secure, I don't care. I'd rather play it like we may not play to our fullest. We play it maybe 60%, get the draw. We save it for when we play, I don't know, by that point, say like Real Madrid in the semis, or Liverpool in the semis, or City, or whoever we face in the final. Like, I'd rather wait until, and we go all out in there. Everyone's fit. We have a full team. Like, that's why we can go third or second. But I would say, if you're going to focus on anything, it's focus on the Champions League. Like, do well in the league, obviously, but
yeah.
But
what's interesting,
we're in a position, as someone said, it might have been you, Johnny, it might have been Sadiq, where it's in our hands, and as long as we maintain the same results as the teams below us, we're in the top 4. Like, so if Tottenham drop points, or West Ham drop points, or whoever drop points, it's not the right mentality to have, but we can afford to drop points. We can afford to have a draw here and there.
Yeah,
obviously you don't want to draw here and there, but it's not the end of the world if it happens.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're literally, it's in our hands, whereas we've seen before it's not been in our hands, and we've had to rely on the teams around us dropping points. Now it's a case of we can actually put pressure on Leicester and United for once this season, and give them a run for their money. I mean, I would prefer to come third or second. Obviously, I'd love to come second, because obviously there's no qualifiers. It's just you got Champions League football end of, and it's a nice. I think Tuchel can do it, and it would be a lovely way to finish coming in where we were at like 8th or whatever, and finish us second would be remarkable, and get us in potentially. Right now, as it stands, we're in a semi-final and we're in a quarter-final. You know, it's all progression in a positive way. So yeah, like it's really funny though going to United because I got two of my mates season ticket holders of United, and they back in Ollie, and I just think me personally I think they need an elite manager now, like because if Ollie doesn't win like Europa League, it's like he's been there for he'll be going into his fourth season without winning anything, just cementing Champions League football for 2 years. For a club like Manchester United and the signings they've made, pretty poor, man.
Big up Chelsea old boys saying top four and one trophy at the very least. We're Chelsea. And also Tuchel saying, I'm concerned about fatigue given our schedule now. Spurs are a problem. They're out of the Europa League and are 3 points behind. They also have a fit Harry Kane. Do you feel like Spurs are going to be a problem for us potentially in the next few games? Because really, 3 points behind us, but their form has been off a cliff recently.
I was going to say,
Harry Kane.
we can talk about
United
Harry
and
Kane.
Everton are in 2 of their next 3 games as well, so I could easily see them drop more points.
We can talk about a fit Harry Kane, but they've also
their
then
last
got
4 games are sticky too. They've got Leeds away, Wolves at home, Villa at home, and Leicester City away on the last day of the season. So they could easily drop points just as much as we could.
Yeah, and as well, they say the guy said they have a fit Harry Kane, but they also have a defense that consists of like Aurier, Alderweireld, and friggin' Sanchez. So, and one injury to a first team player, and they're fucked because then they'll have to bring someone in who is not good enough. Like, say for example, I don't know, like say Reguilon gets injured, for example, then Ben Davies has to come in. Let's say Højbjerg gets injured, Harry Winks has to come in. Say Kane gets injured, Vinicius has to come in. Like,
yeah, their bench, their depth, like we said in November, they have amazing depth for their squad, but really it was just the tactics at the time. Now it's just their squad is all right.
Areas. They have decent areas,
but it's not overall
going
squad.
Forward, they've got decent depth. Going forward, they've got decent depth. Midfield and defense is terrible. Like
even going forward, I'm sitting and saying, one more injury.
I'd say it's decent.
Again.
I'd say it's decent.
Bergwijn, Lucas, and Bale, they're all right. Like Lucas in the middle has been excellent for them the last few games. I'll give him credit, and Bale's starting to come back to form as well. But
have you heard what Bale said?
And Bergwijn's better, but there's no end product of him either.
Did you hear what Bale said? He said he's going.
Yeah, Bale was hilarious. Man said he was using fucking Tottenham for work experience. I can't be asked. Do you see how much they were bigging this guy up when he came? He literally left them after one banging year, came back after everything flopped. They all got hyped for him again, and now he's saying he's leaving. He just wanted work experience for the Euros. He wanted to up his fitness. Spurs just got used to the rebound.
You can tell he don't give a shit about football anymore. He does not give a fuck.
He doesn't, and I don't blame him either, but it is what it is. He's got how much money in his account right now? He don't give a shit about anything.
All I'm saying is Spain must have the best golf courses in the world because you know for a fact he ain't playing when he goes back. So he's literally like he's going back for the golf and the massive paycheck, and nothing else.
Here's some news. According to
guaranteed Champions League.
One sec. I just saw this off Simon Phillips. According to the Gazzetta dello Sport, Fikayo Tomori will certainly remain at Milan. Who have decided to pay the 28 million imposed by Chelsea for the right of redemption. Tomori could sign a 5-year contract. Shock.
Wow.
Shock. He's not coming back. Wow, I never knew that.
I'm not surprised. All I'd say is use the money wisely.
Yeah, I thought there were reports that Milan didn't have bread to buy him.
You what?
I thought there were reports that Milan didn't have the bread to buy him. That's why they were trying to do a swap deal with Kessie or whatever.
No, really and truly, they did have it. It's just they had other options as well in other areas of the pitch that they had to strengthen. Really and truly, if they wanted, they wouldn't have put a 28 million release clause unless they could pay it. And if you can't pay it after the form he's been on, you don't deserve him anyway, to be honest. But Dag, talk to me about your thoughts as well on Chelsea's thoughts of the season. And I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in 1 minute as well for everyone who's waiting too. But go on. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, so this is weird because last year we were not in the same situation, but in a similar situation where it seemed like
it was going to be on other teams to drop points in order for us to go to keep going up, right? And this time, it's not a question of are we going to drop points, but we need other teams to drop points so that we can get a bit more security and we can focus. We can put our attention on the FA Cup. We can put our attention on the Champions League. And like you said about Spurs, how they don't really have depth like that. You could say the same thing for Leicester. You saw once they lost James Maddison and before Iheanacho really started, cracking and really firing, they had a little bit of a bad run. They had a rough patch as well. And for them, it's like one more injured midfielder and it might be, or even, dude, if they lose Tielemans or if they lose Ndidi, they're done. Like, there's nothing that they'll be able to do. So it seems that now it's not really a question about our form, but just a question of we might need other teams to start dropping points so that we can get a bit more, like I said, a bit more security so that we can focus on the rest of the competition.
So what, your biggest fear is the teams around us then?
Yeah, I have I'm 100% comfortable in the position that we are in, especially with the next couple of fixtures that are coming up. It's not I don't think we're going to be dropping points in those. But if we do, then we most definitely are going to need the other team to drop points as well.
Oh, yeah, we just got more people jumping on as well. Here's the thing. I'm not too worried about what we're doing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing, because our form has been so good the last 12 games, and now we have a good run of games too. Really and truly, by the last 4 games of the season, we should have top 4 already consolidated by that point, or hopefully even be closer to it than closer to third or fourth place than that.
Yeah, 100%. But again, it's just a matter of, dude, all of the top 4 teams look like they're going on a bit of a run right now. I mean, with Iheanacho on the streak that he is, they're going to try and feed him the ball as much as they can, just to keep that firing path going. And then, look, Manchester United may be the only one that may be shaky right now. In 1 week, they got knocked out of 2 cups, right? So this is as low as morale is going to get. So if we need them to lose these next couple games to really, that might be something that gets Ollie. I doubt he's going to get sacked. That might be something. I think Man United will drop more points than Leicester will, because Leicester have, I don't know what it is about Leicester, but it's just like they don't need to have a completely good game. But if they just find themselves in 1 or 2 good situations, they can turn it around for them. So I'm more worried about Leicester than I am Man United. But again, they're on top of us, so we don't really have to worry about them like that. It's just the ones below us that we really have to focus on.
Exactly that, and we'll go to Fata as well next. Fata, chat to me, man. What's your thoughts?
I genuinely think we can go further to second. Yes, like Dak says, there's going to be lapses along the way. And I just think if you look at the way how we perform for the past 12 games, yes, there was a bit, lack of goal scoring ability from our front 3. But I just think, again, before the international break, I just think we haven't sorted that front 3 yet, because we don't know what's our best front 3. But then those international break period, it's a crucial time for these guys. Yes, some of our players going to be especially away, but I think the most important thing is that Tuchel going to think something out on how we going to finish above the likes of Man United and Leicester. And to be perfectly honest with you, Lewis, I'm not worried about what happened behind us or what happened ahead of us, because the way that we play, I genuinely think that we can close the gap at least under the digit, because last season we finished about 40 points or so last season. And if this season, if we close that gap, yes, season might become a champion at some point. Maybe against us, if they win their game before us, and if they beat us, they champion. So at the end of the day, man, it's just keeping up with this momentum and see, man. And realistically, we can get second, and it's just a matter of cases where we remember when we gassed up about our unbeaten form for about 2 months, and look what happened to us, dropped in that. And I just think again, like I hope that these players doesn't drop their mentality or doesn't drop their intensity level. So it is what it is.
Yeah, to be honest, for us, like the fixture list isn't nearly as bad as it was when we were looking at it a few months ago. So when it comes to intensity, I'm not even that worried about it, to be honest. I'm just worried about consistency. Or we lose a game for the first time, and then what happens? Do we bounce back from that defeat, or does it start to build into a run of games where we stop being as dominant as we used to be? And that would come at completely the worst time for it. Oscar, chat to me, man. What's your thoughts for the next few weeks as well?
What you man saying, man? I'm in a great mood, man. I feel like the international break has given us time to just look back over all of Tuchel's reign so far, and we've been excellent. So looking forward at the games coming up, we've got games that we should win. Like our next two, I think, and then we've got the West Ham game, which is quite tough. But if we go on a run of games and win our next like 4 in a row, I think we'll develop a bit of a gap. Like none of the teams in that hunt for top 4 are really going on serious runs. No one is consistent this season. I think Tottenham won 3 games against like Crystal Palace and Burnley, and everyone was like, "Oh, Tottenham are back." Then they got brought back down to reality when they lost to Arsenal. So I think if we do our job and beat the teams we should beat, your West Broms, your Crystal Palaces, whenever that Brighton fixture gets put in, if we win those games, we're going to be fine for top 4, and then we can focus on the more exciting things like the Champions League and the FA Cup. But yeah, I'm in a good space. I think the fact that we ain't conceded a lot of goals lets me think that we, like I said, West Ham's a tough game, but I don't see us losing that game. I see us, even if we have a bad performance, we could get a draw. Do you know what I mean? So the only game I'm really, really concerned about is that Man City game in the league where I could see us potentially dropping points. Other than that, I think we really should be in pole position and looking forward and taking on.
Let's say that again.
Yeah, no, did I cut out? Oh,
yeah.
Just basically saying the Man City game is the only game we should be looking at like this. We could potentially lose this game. The other games I could see us drawing, but we're not going to concede that many goals if we continue playing the way that we're playing. So when Tuchel said he wants us to be hard to beat, he's proven so far that we are hard to beat. So he needs to just like continue it on, I guess.
I reckon, yeah. Oh, go on. Oh, I was going to say, like, I quietly wanted us. I quietly wanted Atletico to score a goal to see how we would react, because we haven't had anyone that if they did score, it would have changed the whole dynamics of the game, and we would see our true mentality. Like, we haven't really been tested under Tuchel yet, like in that sense of, if City score a goal against us and they're the first team that we concede to on this run, how are the team going to respond to it? Because we've got a very young team. So that's where I'm going to be like, have we got what it takes?
Yeah, John.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're right, of course. That is something that could have helped us, just to see just what kind of adversity we can go through. But if we're being honest, right?
I'm not even gonna lie, guys. We kind of gas up Mason Mount different, us Chelsea fans.
No,
here we go.
That's just random.
Just off the jump.
Why is Mason Mount belong into this?
You're talking about something completely different.
You're trying to trigger Johnny, aren't you?
Can say, trust me, they're hot.
They don't want the man to breathe, bro. They don't want the man.
Johnny, we got another hater.
We gas up Mason Mount too hard.
What's your name?
Why are you bringing it?
I'm not a hater.
No.
I'm just saying, we gas up Mason Mount way too much.
Nah, man. No way.
He took him out. He didn't even wait till his turn to say that. He just jumped in.
I know, right? But
Dad, what are you saying?
As I was saying, the most, like, in our 3 in the back formation, right? If we talk about a dominating performance, it's not scoring 3 goals, it's keeping a clean sheet, right? So for me, I get what you mean by how it would have been nice to be tested to know how they can deal with it. But if we have a completely dominating performance, they're not going to have any shots on target like we saw in both Atletico games. They're not going to have any chances. They're not going to have, we're not going to concede. So I understand what you're trying to say, but you should be glad we didn't see it because.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course, I think actually now that the Man City game is going to be the game that shows the mentality of our squad, like the true mentality. Because right now we're on form. We feel unbeatable. They're full of confidence. Once their shooting boots are all on, you know, we're going to be so dangerous. But I think City have got so much firepower and threat. It's going to be a fantastic game to watch, to see, you know, the best defense against arguably the best attack. And let's see how we react, guys.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
I'm interested to see how we react for this one. But I also want to ask your thoughts for the semi-final in itself, because that's one topic we haven't discussed. And yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We do have to beat Porto first of all. But what are your thoughts on a potential tie with Real Madrid and Liverpool? And how do you fancy our chances against both of them? I'll start with Chris. I'll start with you.
Real Chris you're on about, because I don't know if there's another Chris.
What?
You're on about me?
There's only one real Chris, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In all fairness, I think Porto's going to be giving us a game because they gave Juventus a game. So I'm not going to overlook Porto, but yeah, we should be beating Porto because look how we just beat Atletico Madrid. We just beat them 3-0. I don't think a team has beat Atletico in the Champions League back-to-back 3-0. So yeah, I think if we get like a Real Madrid, I think I'd prefer Real Madrid over a Liverpool because I hate facing Liverpool in the Champions League. I don't know. I don't feel like us facing Liverpool is a good thing. But if we got Real Madrid, I think we're going to definitely beat Real Madrid.
Dagger's losing it.
No. Listen, right? Give me Liverpool. Give me that defense.
Oh my days! Can I ask you something? Why
Our history of Liverpool ain't good.
No. Listen. We need to understand that we are in a really good spot right now. But
yeah,
this whole I like what Johnny was literally just saying, right? This team really needs to find their finishing boots, right? If we go up against that Real Madrid defense and we don't have them, we are going to be in danger. Can I
add to that?
Hold on.
Can I add to that? I just want to add to that Real Madrid thing. They only have one good attacker. They only have one good attacker.
I didn't mention their attackers. I mentioned their defense.
I know, but we can nullify their attack easily.
Okay. So
wait. This is the thing. This is a bit complex one, to explain. This is because like Liverpool. Let's be honest. Liverpool are not going to make it the top 4 this season. Yeah, let's be honest. So the only way
they're dangerous.
They're dangerous. The only way they're going to try to progress the Champions League football next season is if they win it this season. And that's why we're scared about Liverpool. So in the Champions League, no matter who we're up against, like Real Madrid and Liverpool, for me, the scariest team probably Liverpool to face. Like,
I agree.
I was going to say it as well.
The reason I agree is that on a two-leg basis, Liverpool have got, if they turn it on, we know they're a dangerous side. I mean, it's just luck as well. Yeah. And if that luck sways to Liverpool, there's only one team winning that game. Do you know what I mean?
Are you talking about the same defense, the Real Madrid defense that conceded against Atalanta, that conceded against Elche, that conceded against Celta Vigo, that conceded against bottom of the table Huesca, that conceded against Alaves?
And we just beat the best defense in the world. So
Real Madrid are not the Real Madrid of before.
I'm also talking about. Hold on. I'm also talking about a team that's won 3 Champions Leagues in the past 6 years.
Yeah, with Cristiano Ronaldo and a defense that was in their prime.
Yeah.
They still have.
To be fair, that season when they won the 3 times Champions League. To be fair, that was Cristiano FC all over the place. So.
That defense as well.
Yeah, but the best Real Madrid teams have never been known for their really solid defenses. Like that's not how they win titles.
They're switching to a 3 in the back formation as well, so it's just going to make it even more harder.
Why do you assume that? That's not what they've been playing.
That's what they played against Atalanta.
They didn't play that against Porto.
Against Porto. They did. They played Nacho.
Would you like me to read what their last defense? Would you like me to read what their last league defense was?
Please.
I'll go the normal first. Courtois in goal. Varane at centre-back, Mendy at left-back, Nacho Fernandez at centre-back, Lucas Vazquez at right-back. If you're telling me we can't score goals against that, then what the fuck are we doing in the Champions League?
No, we're going to beat Real Madrid, and I want to play Real Madrid, right?
No, I
Because
agree,
we've
but that's
never
my point.
played them. I
That's
want
my
to play
point.
them.
We're talking about this
I want
defense
to
as though
beat.
it's
I want to
an
beat
insane
and knock that
defense.
team out, man. I can't stand Real Madrid. I hate Liverpool. We've had enough games with Liverpool. Let's play someone fresh. You know what I mean? Let's play a Real
Yeah.
Madrid tie. I want to play. I want to play a team with that heritage as well, man. That they've won it in the past 3 times. Let's knock them out. And Tuchel's never lost to a Spanish side.
Has he not?
No.
Look,
No.
let's be honest. It's not crazy to pick either side. I understand why people would pick Liverpool. I understand why people would pick Real Madrid. But for me, it's Madrid all day. That's the team I want to face because I think we can beat them, and I would enjoy beating them more than Liverpool, who we've already beat once this season.
Oh no!
Oh my damn!
Listen, if we could knock Liverpool out of the Champions League and leave them in the mud for the rest of the season,
I don't care. They're already in the mud.
Yeah,
Really?
that'd be beautiful, of course, but they got nothing to
what if
lose.
they go on and win the Champions League? You don't think they give a fuck?
No, but
You
what I'm
don't
saying,
think they care they finish fourth?
no, what I'm saying to you is, I would rather Real Madrid knock them out and we knock out Madrid.
Oh
So,
yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, I don't care. I don't care about facing Liverpool again. We face them twice every single season. Like, I don't care. So, I just want to go and beat Real Madrid.
We'll
And
just
we have
set money
Real
mace on
Madrid.
them anyway. He'll score another goal, a couple goals against them.
Oh, Johnny, don't start this, please.
Mason Mount, money Mason.
Money.
Oh my god!
Yes. Let's have it.
Don't start this, Johnny, please.
All I'm saying is Roy Keane was right, but it's what it is.
He was right. He's right.
Fabio, we haven't heard from you. Chat to us, man. What's your thoughts?
Yo. Guys hear me?
Fab.
Yeah, you're clear.
Yeah, big up the panel. Anyways, yeah, I don't think we want to get Liverpool still. Like, I know Liverpool are in mud and like they're behind on form, but in the Champions League, they're always a different beast. Like, we've seen this like during the Istanbul finals, it's like Liverpool are completely different when it comes to Champions League. They always turn up regardless of their form in the league.
They were shaky against Leipzig. They were shaky against Leipzig.
They still
Yeah, shaky, but they still got the result.
They backed
That's
them
the
home
point.
and away. Didn't
I
you
mean,
see the goal?
that's because Leipzig were Leipzig. They literally won because Leipzig plays how Leipzig plays. Like, and with
Yeah.
About this team that's second in the Bundesliga and is the closest thing to challenging Bayern Munich.
Yeah, this is the thing. Leipzig are second in the league. Like, you can say Leipzig.
The highline that they played against them, right? Especially once they went down, especially in the second leg, they went full out, all out attack, right? And Liverpool still kind of struggled to score in that game until they broke through in the end. But
You don't need
Yeah, but
one goal
Guys,
to
were
score,
we
man.
on form when we won the Champions League? Were we on form?
Exactly. We won.
We were.
We were horrible in the league. Horrible.
horrible.
We still had the quality. We
And
had
that's my
world
And
class
that's
players.
exactly what Liverpool have.
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to play them because they are dangerous. Regardless,
Liverpool
they're
have-
dangerous.
In the league,
The
Liverpool
Champions
have
League.
nothing to fight for. Right now, the Champions League is the only thing they have to fight for to get into that top 4 spot. To
And
get
how-
into that Champions League spot.
how this is just a question. Is Hazard out for the semis as well?
Hazard is
Yeah.
completely out.
Yeah.
He might be out
Yeah.
for the season. I
He's
think.
out for
The whole
6
season, I think.
months, 4 months,
Months.
4 to 6 months, something like that.
That's
I
sad.
wanna say.
I thought it was-
Yeah, did he hear? Apparently, Hazard that I think this might be it for him. Like,
I was gonna
the
say-
injury-
Someone,
Marine-
the Atletico Madrid doctor said that if he gets the operation on his ankle, there's a chance he never plays football again.
yeah, it's quite sad, you know.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's absolutely
I
horrible.
don't want to hear that. Man.
I mean, Mourinho did say all those years ago that these injuries were going to catch up to him. And like, now I'm looking at Pulisic as well. This could happen to Pulisic. Like, if you looked at that Sheffield game, Pulisic got injured a good 4-5 times. And like, the referee didn't even pull out a card once. So like,
Yeah, there need to be a bit more stronger yellow
It
card.
feels like the officials, sometimes the official doesn't protect our players.
yeah,
as much
that's
as
what I'm
we
saying.
want.
Yeah.
But
And,
I,
like, something.
I'm not
Go on.
defending the official, but I don't remember exactly which ones you're talking about, so I'll have to go back into it. But I mean, the Prem is a physical league. Just looking at Pulisic himself, he's going to get injured. He's not as big as he needs to be. I mean, if you look at the players that get injured but are able to pop back up, the Jack Grealishes, right? You see the size of their legs, right? It's not something that they could just easily get injured or something. So, in order for Pulisic to protect themselves, He's going to need to get in the weight room. But the problem with that is that he's going to lose his pace, that burst of pace that we saw when he bursted through those 3 players, right? We're going to start – he may be losing that because once you start you lose pace.
I don't think Pulisic will ever lose his pace anytime soon. Like, if you
Nah,
see
we saw a Sheffield game.
in the Sheffield game.
Yeah.
I don't mean.
He took 5 knocks, guys. He took 5 knocks, and he kept going, and he had a lovely little run. He burst through 3 players, and for me, the big thing for me for that game was he wasn't amazing. He wasn't great.
Yeah, it's just his confidence. I think once he gets
he now has that mentality of he got through a mental block that on Sunday, and that mental block is I can attack, I can go, I'm gonna get hacked. I got hacked, and I didn't get injured. And he's been playing with so much fear of being injured, and finally broke through that mental block.
I think people undermine how big the injury was on him and how it affects players emotionally and like the confidence, the massive impact it can have on their confidence. Like Callum Hudson-Odoi, after the Achilles injury, we saw how like he wasn't playing like himself. He wasn't going through players, taking players one-on-one anymore. And after a while, he started getting back to his usual self. Like, with Pulisic, again, it's just a question of confidence. Like, I have no doubt about it that once Pulisic gets a few run of games, a few string of games, goes through a few opponents, we're going to start to see the same Pulisic we saw after lockdown last season.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Especially at the right time of the season as well.
Last season,
we need Pulisic. Pulisic offers us something so different.
100%.
That we need.
I think
we need
Pulisic,
it.
on his best day, he's the best player we have in the squad. He is the one player we have comparable to Hazard, right?
Cap.
Can I?
On his best day,
who's better, Dag?
On his best day, who's better than Pulisic? In our
talking about on their day?
On their day.
On their day, who's better than Pulisic?
Werner. What are we talking about?
Havertz on his day is not better than Pulisic.
Pulisic is proving it. Pulisic is proving it.
No. I got
I'm being serious.
Hang on.
He's already proved it.
Time.
Last season already proved it.
Full pause.
Okay, wait. I think people are quick to forget what happened against Liverpool last season, the 5-3 game. As soon as Frank Lampard put Pulisic into the field, Pulisic completely changed the dynamic of the whole game. Completely changed it. Exactly.
Liverpool.
Against an informed Liverpool that had Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, right back, doing bare bits.
Also, Pulisic was almost single-handedly going to win us that FA Cup final.
He got us to top 4. Him and Olivier Giroud got us to top 4.
Like, so
those two.
Obviously, that's not to diminish anything that Havertz has done. But exactly. I just don't think his overall impact on a game at his best is going to be as big as Pulisic.
And add Pulisic to Havertz, then you got different gravy there.
100%. 100%.
And they'll complement each other. But for me, Pulisic on his day, man, he draws. He gets you that penalty. He gets you that free kick. He draws. He gets you the red cards. He's such a dangerous player.
We don't have a player that goes at defenders as much as Pulisic does. Like as soon as we give Pulisic the ball.
Wait, when we said that, Scott, you made a bit of a face. Do you want to make your case for Havertz? Why you think he's better?
For me, because I think his all-round game is better. I think for me, the Havertz strikes me as the type of player like a Bruno for United, where he offers everything. Where he will dictate the play. It's not just a case of running at players, it's getting the goals, getting assists from all areas. And I think that his effect on a game, Pulisic on his day might be brilliant in terms of running at players, taking players on, but that doesn't always work. And I feel Havertz has a much wider variety of ways to help the team. I think that he offers a lot more on his day. Yeah. That's not to say Pulisic is bad. And I think in terms of on his day, I'd say he's definitely in the top 3. I just don't think he's the best.
I think we're yet to see it. We're yet to see it with Havertz yet. We're seeing glimpses.
That's my point. We've seen
glimpses
Havertz at 70%, and he's still good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
My point is both of them together fit is very exciting because they offer different attributes.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, it's about Pulisic. The rest of the season, would you use Pulisic as an impact sub just because of how his injuries have been this season? No. Would you use him as an impact sub?
Yeah, I would.
No?
I would.
Season, yeah.
We've done it.
Tuchel's using him as an impact sub as well. He's already said that in press conferences.
I mean, it depends on what we see our front three as. Like right now, I think our best front three needs to be talked about right now because I think for me, I would have Werner up top. I mean, on the left, I'd probably have Kai Havertz. On the right, maybe Ziyech. I think that spot is still interchangeable, but I think right now that's for front three. I'm looking.
Yeah, the starting front three. Yeah.
Front three against
starts. I'd say Ziyech starts there if Hudson-Odoi starts a right wing back. Otherwise, Hudson-Odoi should be on the right.
Yeah.
I think Hudson-Odoi should be on the left. But I agree.
Well, either or, but it should be.
As long as Manny Mace is in there, I'm good.
Oh my days. For me, it's not like either or. For me, I'm very specific. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left is a much better player than him on the right.
He is, but again, the problem is when you put Werner on the right, he turns into it. He literally disappears. When we put him on the left, he gives us the running from behind, and he gives us the running from behind on the right. But just the angle that he has to shoot at gets so much tighter once he goes to the right. But on the left, he opens it up for everyone else. But what we're talking about Pulisic,
I think as well at the minute with the Pulisic thing, I think it's a mixture of the injuries plus as well as we've mentioned. Right now, I said this before on another stream. If we're talking like your list, say we've got 6 attackers, for that 3 positions, 6, 7 attackers. Right now, I'd say he's second from bottom in terms of getting in that front 3. The only person I'd say is below him is Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
But that's only because he's not been
that's just based on form. That's just based on form right now.
Form,
yeah. I mean, with the point that we were talking about like a second ago, for me, Pulisic on his day will give us a brilliant individual performance. But for me, Havertz on his day will bring the whole team together, right? So that's why I say Havertz on his day will be better than Pulisic. Because you're right. On his day, Pulisic can get you that goal. He can get you that.
I accept that. I accept that. But I haven't seen it. Until I see it, until I see Havertz do like a Money Mace moment against Liverpool.
That's not what I'm saying, though. That's not.
Then you will be seeing stuff like that, Johnny.
I'm not.
He's not talking about moments.
I'm not talking about one moment of brilliance in the game where he pops an outside the box shot. I'm talking about the ability he has to control the ball, to hold the ball in the opponent's box. Right? Instead of just finding the shot on the first shot, creating his own shot or laying it off to the next person.
If he's played false 9, yes.
My bad, real quick. But if you look at I think it was the first FA Cup game I think it was the first FA Cup game we played with Tammy Abraham. When he backed his hat trick, right? You look at the movements that he was making in that box and the touch and the passes that they were laying off him and Tammy, dude. I'm sorry, but Pulisic doesn't do that. Pulisic will hold on to the ball and open it up for himself. But when Havertz is on the pitch, the whole team will come together. That's why, as a big player,
we're looking at 2 different players and 2 different ways of impacting the game. If you look at Havertz is more of your KDB, Bruno Fernandes, the type of creator that we do need in this team. And if we're looking at Pulisic, he's more your Hazard, your Neto, that can provide something from nothing.
Yeah, your Rashford, your Sterling, your Rashford, your Sterling. Yeah.
And when we had Hazard, he was our best player.
100%. Best player in the league.
Hold on. Let's not compare anybody to Hazard because it's just unfair. It's just unfair.
No, but it's the profile.
No. But we're not. Yeah, it's the profile of player. We're not saying they're exactly the same, but it's like the style, the way they want to progress the ball. That's what we're talking about. They're exactly the same. They want to go at players. They want to take 2-3 people on and create something, draw the defenders in, and create that pocket of space that either Werner or Havertz can target.
Yeah.
That's the type of players.
And Pulisic ain't selfish either.
Havertz with that, and all gravy, mate. That's going to benefit Havertz, if anything, because he can.
And now we're seeing Havertz really get his
Hold on. It will. At Bayern Leverkusen, he was playing with, what's his name? The Jamaican Don.
Leon Bailey.
And so the thing about Havertz is he forces the defenders to put so much attention on him because of the different playmaking abilities that he has. It just opens up the pitch for everyone else.
Okay, so what are we trying to see against Manchester City? Because I think this is probably the hardest test and the best test for us. Because as soon as I saw that draw, I wasn't as nervous as I'd be under Frank. Because under Frank, I think we weren't consistent enough against the big top 6 teams. But under Tuchel, we're seeing a bit more fluidity, a bit more progression of football, and like looks as if like whenever we get pressed, it seems as if we can break opponents down quite easily from a press. So right now, I'm actually pretty excited about that Man City game.
The thing I'm
You've got
excited
to play
about.
Werner. You've got to play Werner, Havertz, and Mount for that
No,
game.
no.
100%.
Absolutely
No.
not. Absolutely not, Johnny. Just
playing.
kidding.
100%.
Yeah, let's go
We're not
talk about
gonna
Man
score.
City game.
Okay,
Just
so
a quick-
Mount, if you
Johnny,
don't play
Johnny.
Mount, your pressing game is finished, bro.
No, Johnny.
Against City,
It's not
it's
detrimental.
crazy.
No, it's not detrimental to Mason Mount's like performances recently. It's just the other players have been performing over him. Ziyech has gotten his goals, so there's no.
Ziyech will
I can see where
Ziyech
this
will
is
get
going.
run ragged in that game. He's not
Which
he's
game?
not up to it. The City game, he ain't got it, man. It's gonna be too fast for him.
But the thing is,
You
we're
think-
not
I
getting
can't-
the
I
ball
think-
like
but
10
he's
seconds.
the thing
It's
about
too
Ziyech,
quick
he's
for
got
him.
the
He's
vision.
an impact player for that game. He'll come off the bench for me.
I definitely do understand what Johnny's saying.
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
understand
he's
where
not a
you're
player
coming
who's
from.
got to be doing running, but he's that creator and everything. Like he's got to
Yeah,
be
but
playing
you
for that
lose with the
final
way
third.
City. The way City
think the
play
only
press,
problem
is-
we have
you're
with,
like you're losing a man for that reason.
Yeah, I think the only problem. I think the only problem I have with Ziyech is that when he has the ball, or say in our half when we're getting pressed, and when he's directly getting pressed, he's not the type of Kovacic to get out of that situation that's kind of press resistant. We've seen him against Atletico a few times, where when he was getting pressed, he lost the ball quite a few
That's
times.
false. That's
But
false.
when he has space, he is one of the best people who can
That's
have on that field to
He's
create
a
that
European
space.
player for us right now. He's a European player, Ziyech.
That's
I
false
think
because that's
I
false.
think he's a top six
That's
player
false.
for us. I think against any of the top six teams, I think we could see like a massive impact from Ziyech. I
Right.
think we need to have him in that field.
Johnny, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Because
go
I've
for
been
it.
thinking about this since last night. Yeah, don't you think like we had to, keep the rotation going because we got that tight period to schedule? Like we playing Premier League games and then Champions League in the midweek and then back in the league. And do you honestly think that Tuchel gonna put Mason Mount and all the games in those periods?
No,
though?
but
At some point,
I'm talking about like for the West Brom game. Yeah, play Ziyech, no problem. But for me, for the City game, Mount has to be in that game.
I don't know. I don't think
For the
it's a bad
City,
shout
Mount could
either.
come
I
off the
think
bench.
it could.
Nah.
I'd
He's
rather
too important.
Mason come off the
He's
bench.
too important to what he offers the team.
But
all
we're not
round.
gonna go out and just press headless against City. I don't think. Like,
no, Tuchel will want
Yeah,
to press
that-
City. He will want to press them.
but they
100%.
City are the
Nah,
one team
Johnny, I
that can
think
get out the
this
He's
is
press.
going to want to counter press them all the time.
Yeah, City will punish us. By the way,
If we press City,
Yeah,
they're
City
gonna
will
play
punish
out that.
if we do the same sort of pressing we do against the lower league teams, where we put 3 people on the ball whenever we lose.
I bet you now, guys, 100%. I bet you now, Mount will be first name on that team sheet for a City game. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
bro.
I think he will too.
Again, Johnny, like we're not saying it's an outrageous shout.
If Mason does play in that game, he better put João Cancelo in his pocket. That's all I'm saying.
It's not even
He'll
that.
put-
I
he'll
don't
put
care.
anyone
I've
in
said
his
this
pocket,
before.
man.
I don't care defensively what he does. Going forward, he doesn't offer enough.
Which
he
is
will.
a
He
point.
will.
Thank
he will.
you.
He
Thank
will.
Yeah, but Johnny,
Well,
it doesn't offer as
listen,
much
guys,
as
I don't
Ziyech
want to
when
hear
we.
all this. He doesn't offer, right? Because the
It's
whole
all
front
about-
Not the
line's been
creative
shit.
side, no.
It's been poor, man. And at the end of the day, he offered stuff going forward. In that flipping Leeds game when we were so shit, right? Okay, he laid off 2. He got robbed of 2 assists in that game.
No,
The
you
Liverpool
didn't.
game, he won us the game. All right. The Fulham game, he won us. He's won us
Surely you're
games.
not
He
talking about the last Leeds game, right?
Yeah, he did. He laid off
He's
2
not. He is.
Nah,
He is.
Johnny. Remember
I
last
believe that
Leeds
was
game, he wasn't
Pulisic
that great. I think
Mount
the
was-
last
No,
two
no,
games
but what I'm
was
saying
shit
is
that
he
Leeds
still
Here we
created
go.
2
Mount debate
chances.
again.
He still created 2 chances when we didn't
Get your
really create
popcorns
much,
out, people.
right?
But so does Ziyech. He created 2 good
yeah, but
chances as
yeah,
well.
exactly. So does Ziyech.
Yeah.
You
So
can't
what's
you
the
can't
problem?
use
Why
that
are we saying
narrative.
that he doesn't create enough when he's created equally
No,
what Ziyech
I think Mount
created?
creates, yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I
Hold
just
on,
think
hold on,
Ziyech.
hold on, hold
I
on.
think Ziyech and obviously Mount are very different players, though.
Can I say something about this debate though? Because we're saying
Yeah.
Ziyech is not good enough yet. Yet he's been injured. Like he's getting into it, and his performances keep on improving.
Chevy, it's not that he's not good enough. It's not that he's not good
listen,
enough. It's
nah,
that he
yo,
needs
let
to
me
adjust,
talk,
bro.
Wait, Johnny, let him
He
speak.
needs to
Let him
adjust.
speak.
Nigga, exactly. He just came in, and his performances is getting better and better and better. And you're saying I know Ziyech can't press as well as Mount, but he still runs. Like I saw a couple of times he was pressing
know.
Atletico. He's not the best at it,
that
but
Leeds
he
game, he
still
was.
offers it. The thing about playing
I was
against Man
saying,
City, we're gonna probably be playing on the counterattack like Atletico Madrid. And then when we need somebody who's gonna pick out Warner's runs, who's gonna pick out the pass, it's definitely not gonna be Mount. We need Ziyech. You seen it at the Atletico game. As soon as Warner made runs, Ziyech was putting them through.
Yeah,
also,
but if you
question, what City game are we talking about? Are we talking a cup or the league?
That's
the
Cup, I
cup.
think.
Oh, the cup. The league game,
All of them,
City
all
aren't
of
even
them.
going to be
Any
serious.
City game.
No,
Any
the
City
league
gonna
game.
say-
The league game don't matter too much because they'll
Yeah,
have the
the
time
cup.
to be
I
wrapped up
think
by
the
then.
cup
No
is the
will
one that
care.
we need to be worried about.
Fair enough. That's a month away, just under. Like there's like all that there's a good chance, or not a good chance, but there's a chance that like in the next few games Ziyech scores in every single one of them and is like in the form of his career.
Exactly.
So,
That right now we're seeing Ziyech improve his form. The past 2 games, Ziyech has been
there's
excellent.
a chance that Ziyech's our most in-form attacker. I'm not saying he's going to be, but there's a chance. So
Yeah, why is it such an outrageous shout, Johnny, for Ziyech to be in ahead of
And
Mount?
he's picking up
If we're seeing-
confidence.
No,
guys,
it's not. It's not even about that because Johnny's talking about the style of the players.
Right.
So it like regardless of who's in form, I can understand why he would say Mount instead of Ziyech.
Yeah, I can understand it, but I still think Ziyech would still be a massive asset to have in this game.
Ziyech performed against Atletico because European football is not as fast as playing a City or a Premiership game. When Ziyech is put into those fast-paced games, he struggles. He needs that.
I don't think it's
extra
just
bit
a question
time.
of just pace. I think it's physicality as well. I think it's just Ziyech isn't.
It's both of those
that
things.
built as much as the other players.
But you could say
Yeah.
Atletico arguably is a physical team, which they are. All right, but it's a slow-paced game, so therefore Ziyech has time to have that extra little touch that he likes to take to position the ball to make that beautiful pass. He doesn't get that time against City. He doesn't get that time.
At the same time, he wasn't given that much time against Atletico in the last leg. We didn't have that much space. He didn't. Nah, he wasn't given.
No, they were trying to press us.
They were trying to press.
If we look at the team that most recently beat City, Man United, right? You look at how they played that game. Fully counterattack. They sat back, and then the second they saw the opportunity, they bombarded forward.
That's the thing, like
if we're doing that, I want Ziyech on the pitch.
Why?
We're gonna be on the back
He can
foot.
pass it. He can make that pass. I've seen Mason Mount miss so much through balls that if he misses one more, I don't.
Bruv, listen to me.
Wait.
He's made so many passes, bruv. He's been robbed of probably over 10 assists.
Can I give you an example of how that's not true?
It's not his fault that they don't.
Guys, I think we
finish
should stop talking about Mason Mount. Every single time we talk about Mason Mount, it always
Because
ends up
I
being a
keep
massive.
hearing he's not a creator and it's bullshit, bruv.
No, but
It's
like
absolute
Dag,
shit.
Dag, if you even look at the
So
Liverpool game,
disrespectful to Mount, man.
Ziyech wasn't that player. He was further forward up with Werner, and Mount was the one playing those balls in. Mount and Jorginho were the ones that threaded Werner through. It wasn't ever really Ziyech. And Ziyech struggled. I feel like he didn't play well against Man United either. So in those big games in the Premier League, he hasn't really done it. So Johnny's point does make sense because Mount does seem to step it up on those occasions where Ziyech hasn't so far. But Tuchel obviously plays Ziyech in those games because he wants something from him. So I think we could see Ziyech, but I would prefer to see Mount.
I think
I was gonna say we're so lucky.
We're gonna be on the back foot. You know we are because it's City. Like
I think Tuchel will choose his moments when to attack.
Who do you trust when you're in the back foot? Who do you trust when you're trying to break City's play? Do you trust Ziyech to break the play, or do you trust Mount to break the play?
Depends. It all depends.
You know what, Johnny? I trust whatever Tuchel chooses. Actually,
I do trust
whatever
Tuchel, but I'm telling you now, Tuchel
whatever he
will pick
chooses
Mount.
works.
I'm telling you now, 100%.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm like whatever. If he chooses Mount, he's probably chose the right choice. Like he always chooses the right people normally. That's how I see it.
Look, but hold on. I'm gonna stand by what I've said for the longest, and I'm gonna continue to say it. I do not want to see Mason Mount in my front three. I apologize. I would love to see him in a double six, but I do not want to see him in the front three. If all of our players are performing, Mason Mount doesn't get in the front three. I apologize, but if you can't agree with that, that's
you put me a front line that the Werners are scoring goals and the Havertz are scoring goals and put Mount in there. It's all gravy, mate. The fact is, the bottom line is, this whole season, no one has got their shooting boots on, and that has been the problem. It's not Mount's creation. It's the fact. Did you know if you look at the chances creation out of the whole league, bruv, flipping Mount is above Kevin De Bruyne, behind Grealish and Bruno Fernandes. Out of our whole Chelsea
That's not
squad.
fair to say. That's not fair to say.
No, but
Kevin
I'm
De Bruyne
saying
and
out of our whole
Jack Grealish.
Chelsea squad, Mount has created the most chances. Forget who he's compared to, Bruno and all these players. Out of the whole Chelsea squad, Mason Mount has created the most chances for Chelsea Football Club. So all this shit that he doesn't create is bollocks.
Did I say he doesn't
He does create. He does, yeah.
Did I say he doesn't?
No, you lot are saying he doesn't create. I don't want to see him in the final.
I didn't say he didn't create.
By name. Hold on, Johnny. By name. Hold on, Johnny. By name. Call us out. Who said he doesn't create?
Scott definitely said it.
I didn't say
And
that.
I've heard
I said
you
he
say
doesn't
that.
offer as much. I did say he didn't create. I said he doesn't offer.
He did
as
say
much.
that. He did say that.
Johnny, what we're seeing
That's
is
what
you're not listening.
Everyone
You're not
says
listening to what we're
he
saying.
doesn't create enough. Xavi said it many times. I've heard you say it, Dags. Scott said it today. I've heard it, bruv.
I said he misplaces passes. I never said he doesn't create.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it? That's the same
No,
thing.
it's not. It's
It is the
totally
same.
different.
Come on, man. It's the
Totally
same thing,
different.
man.
There's a
It's
difference
not.
between
It's
creating.
not. Misplaced passes. Come on, man.
Wait, I
Misplaced
think
passes.
what
How
they're
many
trying
of
to
our
say. I
squad
think
make
what they're trying to
misplaced
say.
passes? Come
I think
on.
what they're trying to say is, in comparison to Ziyech, he might not offer as many
Yeah.
chances. I think that's what they're trying to say. I don't think it's a question of Mason Mount being bad. It's just
It's
saying
not.
Ziyech
Oh.
He's
We have
he's
never,
created the most,
I've said this
most chance
before.
creation in
I'm
the
not
whole
saying
squad.
he's bad. I think
It's-
in an
that-
eight,
that-
in a
that's-
midfield 3 or the 2, he works brilliantly because he can pick the ball up from deep. He can use his pressing ability, which is good in the midfield, and then drive up the pitch to let off to a more creative player. I'm saying going forward, every other player we have in that front three offers more going forward. That's all I've said.
Well, I
I
ain't
didn't say he's
seen
a
it,
bad
man.
player.
I ain't seen
Didn't say
it.
he's
I
not
ain't
good
seen
enough.
it.
Nah,
Didn't
but
say
Johnny, if you
Pulisic
look at
wasn't quality.
if we look at the Everton game, he was
You're,
playing in that game.
you're only
He was our
seeing
front
it.
three.
You're only seeing it now, but you didn't see it before when Tuchel come in. You didn't see it, bro. It's only now that we've beaten Atletico and Mount didn't play a few games. That's it. That's where
Yeah,
the
but we
argument
didn't.
lies.
Hang on, we
But-
didn't
but-
see it
but
because
when you
those
listen
three
to
weren't played
Tuchel-
together.
When you listen to Tuchel, he had to demand of Kante, Kovacic, and Ziyech to give the input. Well, mainly to Kovacic and Ziyech to give what Mason Mount gives because they were missing it in the Atletico game. So they had to work extra hard.
Hello?
Oh. So Johnny
that's
Some
cut out.
factors. It's not just about chance creation. It's not just about that. It's about what he offers. The whole all-round game, what he offers, and it's meant to complement your Ziyech's and your Havertz and your Werners. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
I don't think anyone doubted that, but I think everyone's just trying to say that. We think that the best front three might not have Mount in it. I think that's the only argument we're having. I mean, I think that's a pretty good debate, and it's a good problem to have. The fact
The
that
Liverpool
Mount
game
might
he
not
was,
be.
wasn't he? The Liverpool game he
Yeah.
was.
For me,
And-
it's just
and
on
he
a,
lost the
it's
game.
just on a
But
game by
our
game
best
basis.
our best two performances going forward, he wasn't. So what does that tell you?
One of our, in my opinion, the best performance that we had was the Atletico away game.
And he wasn't playing.
No,
playing.
Atletico.
He played the whole game.
Atletico home.
Atletico
Fair.
away was not our best performance.
Yeah,
No,
Atletico
that's
home.
what won us the time, man. We scored the
No,
away goal.
Atletico home was better than Atletico
Yeah,
away.
but we didn't create that many chances.
Exactly.
We could afford.
We scored a bicycle kick.
You got
We
to
scored a
understand.
bicycle
We
kick.
could afford to play the way we did in the second leg
scored a
because of the
bicycle kick.
first leg.
We scored
Because
a
of the first
bicycle
leg.
kick at the edge of the box, Johnny.
Yeah, and who was there? Who
The
was
edge of the
there?
box.
Who was there? Who was there for that ball to come off the defender to put the defender under pressure?
Yeah,
Who?
but Johnny,
Giroud.
listen, I don't think
Who was
Atletico
there?
played a
It was
different
Mount,
style to
bro.
how. Wait, I don't think Atletico played a different style to how they played or how they set up in the first
Yeah,
game.
they made it even harder,
No,
and we
they did,
still. That's
but
why
that-
it's such a good game because they
came
were
at us.
sitting back.
Yeah,
They
but
came at us a bit
We
more, but
wanted
that
them to
was
come
it.
at us, bruv. The second leg, we wanted them to come at us. That's how we scored those goals, bruv. That's the whole point. Is the first leg was the key. The first leg, if it was a 0-0 in the first leg, it wouldn't be like that second leg. And that's my point. He played that game, and Jorginho played that game, and that was the difference in us winning the two legs.
The difference in us winning that leg was Giroud. You cannot come here and say
Giroud, you can't come here.
I was going to say that first as well. If we're talking about the performance in that Atletico game, that first half from Mount was poor. Second half was better.
And the second half was unbelievable, bro.
All right, cool. But hang on. We're having the same debate about
And the
Ziyech
second
in the
half is
United
where we
game
scored the
and
goal.
in
It's my point.
in other games where his first 45 minutes
Yeah.
isn't good enough, but we're saying he shouldn't be coming out for the second half. But then we're affording that same thing to Mount. Like, like we can't be having one rule for one and one rule for another.
There's double standards when it comes to the English boys, apparently. So we'll leave it.
It's not that. He's levels above in mentality and everything in our team, right?
Fuck his mentality.
He's our most important player. He's our most important player.
One at a time, guys. Go on.
And that's what's a joke, mate. I'm shocked by it. I'm shocked that's your mentality. That our most important player and best player shouldn't be in the starting lineup. I'll stick him on the bench. And you ask Tuchel, and it's the complete opposite, bruv.
Our most important and best player. Quote that. Everyone in the chat, quote that. Our most important.
He is our most important player.
He's not.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Listen,
this whole season, he's been our most important and best player.
Well, then if we hold on. If he was our most important player, would we have not lost that Atletico game when he didn't play?
Huh?
Would we not have
all you can throw, Dags? But I'm saying to you, how did we get to that second leg, bruv?
Big man.
Take Mount out of that first leg. Take Mount out of the first leg. Take Mount out of the Liverpool game. Take Mount out of the Fulham game. Take Mount out of the West Brom game. Take him out of all these, bruv, and we wouldn't even be where we are now in the league.
Hang on, Johnny,
he's the most important player, bruv.
I don't agree with that because the stats prove that without Mount, we have won most of our games without him. So we can't just say
he's played all our games, bruv. He's only been not played, mate, 3 games this season or 4 games this season.
It's more than that, but yeah. As I was saying,
stats, man. But the bottom line is, I've named you like 4 games, bruv.
This whole argument is a bit silly because I'll agree he's been our best player. I'll agree he's been our best player, but for half the season he was in a system where it was designed around him.
No, it wasn't. Oh my
It
God.
was.
And now you're
bullshit, man. Lampard tried to accommodate Werner for the whole bloody season, bruv, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it because everyone was injured. Ziyech was out, Pulisic was out, Havertz was out. So what choice did he have, man?
This is the same Werner that works best in a 2-striker system, right? And we played him in a 1-striker system in a 4-3-3. What are you talking about?
Mate, you're gone, mate. You're gone, bruv. You're gone. Building the whole system around Mount. You're having a laugh, mate.
No. I won't have it.
You're having a laugh, man.
I'm about to start using British slang. No, get out of here.
No, mate.
Okay.
You tell me, bruv. In the first half of the season, the first half of the season, how many options Lampard had, mate? Tell me how many times our front lines played together. Go on, name me all the games they all played together.
What front line?
What front line?
What do you mean, what front line? The front line we got now. How many times did they play when Lampard was in?
None. You know what?
There you go. There's your fucking answer, bruv. There's your answer, mate. There's your answer.
But guess what? Frank Lampard got sacked.
One of our
Frank Lampard got sacked.
as the defensive
So that's when you say to me the whole system's built around Mount. What fucking other player do you want to build it around, mate? Tell me. What other player? And don't even dare say Havertz to me. Don't say Havertz to me.
Werner?
They weren't fit, bruv. They weren't fit, is what I've just told you.
Back then. They weren't fit.
So who are you going to build the team around?
Werner
That's what I mean. You talk shit.
Werner was fit.
Werner was fit. Yeah, Werner was fit.
Man.
Werner was fit.
Werner's a fucking striker, bruv.
Yes, and you build your team around.
You're going to build your whole team around a striker, bruv, not a midfielder.
You build it around a 21-year-old midfielder?
You know what, Dags, bruv? You talking breeze, man. I don't know. You need to smoke some breeze, bruv, because that's what you're on.
Big man, I'm chilling. I don't have a heart for a player that doesn't really
crackers, bruv. I've just told you, and you cannot answer me because they're all injured, mate. They're all in and out of the team.
Hudson
So
Odoi-
there was no other choice but to build the whole team around Mount, and Mount won us games, bruv. And that's all I've got to say to you. So yeah, he's our most important player.
Hold on.
Put some respect on his name, bruv.
Hold on. How about this?
Thiago Silva not won us games.
How about this? So if Mason Mount was our most important player and our most influential player, right? And our manager still got sacked, right? What does
That's
that?
not his fault. You can't blame it on Mount. It's a team performance. It's 11 players on the pitch.
So now it's a team performance.
What are you talking about, bruv? Your excuse is you're saying to me that the whole team was built around Mount, right? Which isn't his fault, because I've just explained to you got injuries, and now you're blaming our position in the league because he built the whole team around a player that he only could build his whole team around. What fucking logic is that, bruv?
Are there not 11 players on the pitch?
Yeah, there's 11 players, and they all don't perform, bruv. So what? How's that Lampard's fault, and how is that Mount's fault?
Because now we're seeing him perform right now.
No. Because the second Lampard,
you're punching bags, mate.
How about you let me finish? Go
on, Dad. Go on.
Because the second, and I mean the second, Lampard walked out of these doors, every single player on our team started performing. So I won't have you here.
When Tuchel come in, Dags, when Tuchel come in, our players were all coming back in fitness, bruv. All of them. Havertz came back. Havertz has been eased in. He's been afforded to be eased in. All right.
Now is the time. Now is the time. Here's the question for you. Are you saying we should have kept Lampard?
What do you mean, should we have kept that? I wanted to give Lampard time. Yes, I did. Of course I did. Of course I wanted to give Lampard time. I back my manager, bruv. I back my legend. Of course I do. I was sold a dream by the club. Yes, I was.
All right, Artem, we're going to return to that super chat quickly. Big up Sam Jovi saying you can also argue that when the team was dropping points when the team was built around Mount, we won more convincingly when he wasn't playing recently.
I think the first when isn't meant to be there.
Yeah, you can argue that the team was dropping points when the team was built around Mount and we won convincingly when he wasn't playing. Agree with the first part, but I wouldn't say won convincingly when he wasn't playing unless you can drop me the certain games where he wasn't playing and we played 10 times better as a result.
It's an excuse, Lewis. It's always an excuse when he doesn't play. That's what they say. But when they look at the performances, the only game you can bring me is what? Atletico's second leg. And my point is, the first leg is allowed us to play how we did in the second leg. Because if it was a 0-0, it would have been a different dynamic altogether. And I know Champions League football, mate. And it would have been. I don't want to hear anything less. And the fact that we didn't have Mount and Jorginho, I wasn't confident, bruv. I was not confident.
And we actually won that game. So
yeah,
what is your point?
And I'm buzzing we won it.
So
I'm talking about the whole season. As a player for the whole season, he has been our most important player. But you lot will come out and say to me, Thiago Silva, bruv. Because that's what you'll say to me.
I won't. Look. I'm not going to. I don't think you understand what we're saying. Mount has been our best player this year. Our most influential? I do not believe so. Our best player? Yes. Because he has the stats to back it up. So yes, he has been our best player. But most influential, where he will take and control the entire game? No, he won't. He simply won't.
You know what? I won't even dispute that he might have been the most influential. I would go as far as to agree that. But this idea of a narrative that people have that Mount is above criticism or Mount has to play.
I never said he's above criticism, bro. I never said that.
Johnny,
I said he had an average game the last game.
Let us talk. This idea that people have this narrative that he's ahead of criticism and he cannot be criticized or he can't be touched and he cannot be taken out of a starting lineup or else we won't win, it's completely wrong. It's just wrong. And the stats prove it. It's wrong.
When have I said to you can't criticize him? When did I say? I didn't say that.
Time.
But I never said that.
Johnny did say Mount had a bad game.
I told you before all this, I said the Sheffield United game, it was an average performance. He's entitled to a fucking average performance. The guy has been playing fantastic for us. He has been playing excellent. He gives us so much to our team. There is no other player in the Chelsea squad that gives what Mount does. No one.
Okay, so when people were trying
to say, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear any different.
Hang on. When people were trying to bring up our best games were Everton and Atletico Madrid under the second leg, specifically under Thomas Tuchel, and Mount was not in that lineup. Why was it so hard for you to accept that?
Why is it hard for me? What do you mean hard for me to accept it?
Big up, Jem. Welcome to the
chat. Why is that hard for me to accept it? I'm not saying it's
that's
hard
my
for you to
question to you.
accept it. What I'm saying is you are using those 2 games where, in my opinion, the Liverpool game was an unbelievable result. An unbelievable
Who's this
result.
guy? Who's this guy in the
Again,
corner talking about
Yes,
Mason Mount?
Jem.
What's his name?
Again, no one's disputing that. Sorry, what?
What's the guy's name that was talking about Mason Mount?
Which one?
Not John. Not Johnny. Not Johnny.
Which one?
Not Johnny. The guy that's arguing with Johnny. Who is it?
Oh, me, Fabio.
Dag.
Mate,
Hang
you
on.
are unbelievable. I love it, and you are correct, mate. I agree with you 100,000,001%.
What are you correct? What are you agreeing with, Jem?
We need to get him out, mate. He is in it. Barcelona
He's a
should
piss
just come
take,
and get
brother.
him.
Jem's here to start the firework. Yes, Lewis. Give me some of that. You're a joker, Jem.
Go on, Jem.
Honestly, what does Mason Mount actually do, Johnny? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Useless.
Johnny's ears are screaming out.
He's a C-Tech Paul Scholes.
Yeah, man.
On a real
He
note,
is, man.
I love that.
Roy Keane.
On a real note,
Give it to
on a real
Roy
note.
Keane, bro.
Johnny, on a real note,
I love this.
on a genuine real note, right? What you see with Mason Mount's pressing, right? We all see, but for me specifically, I need to have him in that midfield because he does so much running that I don't think he needs to be doing in the top when he's playing as an attacker. He does so much extra running.
Mount is not just about pressing; it's his reading of the game.
I know.
But did you know that Mount is the most? He's the player that progresses the ball the most for us in midfield.
Exactly, and I want him to stay there.
Because of our front line, he's so incompetent, bruv. Because they've been so incompetent, nothing happens, and that's not his fault.
Why doesn't he like Mason Mount? What's the main thing you don't know about Mason Mount?
What? Hold on. Yeah, I don't like about Mason Mount.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's like. It's not a matter of I don't think he's good enough for it, right? It's just he hasn't had the experience yet to get it down not every single time he tries it, but he messes up one too many times, especially the through balls that he tries to play, which would completely bust open an opponent's defense.
Yeah, but that's not just him, to be fair. We have that problem
Of course,
across the team.
It's not. But what he also needs to get into those positions where he's running into the box more because he keeps staying at the top of the box, trying to get the long shot that's really unnecessary sometimes. When he can just get into the box and try and find the ball that's coming across.
Sheffield United game, Dags. He was running into the box. Timo Werner cut back and he scored the goal.
Cool. Exactly.
He scored the goal, and they all won us the game.
Johnny, I did not blame Mason Mount for that game. I did not put a single lick of blame on him. Okay? I said there was so much more that we could have done in that game, such as I did not think Giroud should have been playing that game because when we play Giroud, you need to give him the ball in the air. This across the sticks, it really doesn't work when you're playing against Sheffield.
Yeah, but Dags, you got to understand that Sheffield United game, right? And what everyone needs to understand is that is the first game that Tuchel has been able to actually experiment. Did you know he played Mount in 3 different positions? He trialled him in 3 different positions that game.
I did, which I loved, and
that's gonna affect our all-round performance, and we still bloody won the game with 8 changes. So
exactly,
that's credit to Tuchel, bro.
That's a good chat, guys.
I see you guys later. Yeah.
See you later, Chris.
See you later.
Cool, Johnny. Listen,
I thought he performed the best when he was in that 6th pairing.
I'm dropping facts, so just
wait, Johnny, listen. The only argument some people had was that they think their opinion was front 3 did not have Mount in it. That's not that big of a deal. I don't think it's a bad thing if the front 3 doesn't have Mount in it. We're saying our potential strongest lineup. Yeah, for Johnny, and we're not disagreeing with that. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But my opinion was that our strongest front 3 is Werner, Havertz on the left, and then Ziyech on the right.
Yeah,
that is my opinion of our strongest front 3. Or even you could even argue Callum Hudson-Odoi. You could even argue. But I don't think it's that big of a problem to not have Mount in that front 3 of now.
When Mount was on the right in the first of Atletico Madrid, it was a Odoi right wing back, and we were most deadly on that side, especially.
Isn't it funny that we're moaning about a player of the season? He's going to win player of the season. Let's be serious.
He's player of the season.
We're sitting here digging digging out Mount, and he's getting players.
Yeah.
But Jem, no one's digging out Mount. Exactly, no one's digging out Mount.
One at a time.
Everyone has this narrative that we're digging out Mount just because we're saying that for best front three, we've currently seen under Thomas Tuchel may not have Mount in it. Yeah, and everyone suddenly has this idea of
every single live stream, it's the same. We say that we don't think Mount is the best option in that position, and then Johnny over here, right, turns around and he's like, why are you hating?
No, I'm saying this started.
His mentality is the best I've
ever seen. Listen, this started because I said Mount plays the City game no matter what, and you lot were like, no, we
cannot say that.
You're entitled to say no. I don't understand. I can't understand that you wouldn't have your player of the season, your best player of the season in one of the most important games.
First of all, I did not say that. I said I did not mind. I could not. That and a case could be made for either. That's the point. That's the argument we're making.
Yeah. Your statement is wrong. He's not guaranteed to start that. Like
he's a Scholesy with Sir Alex. He's the first name on the team sheet, bro. He's the first name on the team sheet.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Tuchel made him captain, man.
There's only one other player that has to work
Tuchel made him captain because 4 players couldn't be captain.
Yeah, I was going to say he was fifth
choice, bruv. He knows, man.
He was literally fifth choice.
He knows that this player is a special player.
Why can't we? Can I just say something? Why can't we just rotate? Why have we got to have one and not the other? Why can't we just accept the fact that we
no one's having a problem with that, Jem.
No one's having a
problem.
That's the conversation we're having, though. That's the conversation we're having. Because it's like no one here is saying let's sell Mount, let's get Mount out of the team. We're saying in a game against Manchester City, what would you have? I said I would have Mount. Johnny said he'd have Mount, and then Scott and Dag said they'd have Ziyech. And I think it's a matter of opinion. And if you're saying,
who do you have, Lewis?
I don't have anything against
Mount for Manchester City. I probably would go for Mason Mount.
No Christensen as well? Is Christensen on the bench?
I don't know.
As well?
No, Christensen starting next to Thiago.
Christensen starting. Also, actually, I want to shout out before you say
I can't lie.
Shout out in the Sheffield United game. As soon as Christensen came off, it all went to pot at the back, mate. All went to pot.
Wait, hang on, guys. Wait.
So what you're saying is Aspie's not good enough to play his position when he's played so well this season.
No, Aspie was just knackered, Jem. He was knackered from the Letty game.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Cool. So
and James didn't settle, so he didn't have the cover, and Zuma was the only central defender, actual centre back.
So speaking about that,
I did put McGoldrick in there. Repeat offender, bro. I've been waiting.
I'm surprised I'm not in there yet.
I need actually
love it.
You shouldn't have said that.
Cool. So speaking on that, what's the ideal?
Can you DM me that photo, please?
Yeah. 1 second. I can send it.
You know what, Lewis? You need
this
to
one,
make
right?
One with,
yeah.
You need to make one with Mount, bruv, and then I can put all the panelists in it, bruv. That I've had out
you
with.
send me the photos, I can get the edit sorted because I just want to.
So hang on, question: what is our ideal backline then? Because right now we're seeing all of our defenders are currently on form.
Emerson. Mendy, Rudiger.
Right now, who does Thiago Silva even get back into his team right now?
Silva.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I don't know what.
So then, who are we dropping for Thiago Silva then?
Zuma. Everyone's playing so well, though.
Christensen has to play.
Because I don't think it's that easy as people are making it out to be. Because right now we have Rudiger in form, Christensen in form. He's doing a really solid job as well. Apart from that Sheffield United game, which is understandable because he's been playing like quite a lot of games, and obviously he's at an age right now where it's caught up. But other than that, who else?
You play Christensen over Aspie.
I'd say it'd be Christensen simply because Aspie, the way that he works in this system, I don't think Christensen could do. But that's it. Like if Christensen could do it, I'd say he needs to play. But I just think in the way that Aspie works in the system, it works better with him in it.
We saw that in the Sheffield United game. I think it was Hudson and Troy. He was getting a little isolated inside, completely isolated. Like normally when Aspie's there, he gives them the outlet pass and they can do the give and go, and Callum will try and dart down the wing or down. But we just didn't have that with Christensen.
But I start Thiago Silva for City simply because of his experience, like in those sort of games.
Crusty, drop Crusty, man. Put Thiago Silva in.
Guys, yeah, I actually think we could win the Champions League. You know,
Oh,
I'm not
don't
gonna
do
lie
this.
there.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I do agree to a certain extent. I think
Let's
we
just take it one game at a time. Like
Yeah.
that's what
I'm not getting carried away. I'm still taking it game by game because
because I think some people are really undermining how like good this Porto game is going to be. This Porto will actually give it to us. It's not
It's
going
like
to
the
be as easy as
Benfica game. It'll be like
but
that.
they're missing their best striker and they're also missing Pepe. So maybe we could use that to our advantage. But
can you imagine a away day at Porto? That'd be beautiful, you know.
Yo, hold on.
To go and watch the game.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So look, right. So when we were under Lampard, right, and as we were watching, as we were watching each game.
What the heck is that? So cringy. It's so cringy.
That's nuts. That is nuts.
Who is that though? Jesus.
Lewis, I got to shoot because I go back to work, man.
Too many things cancelled.
Big up, Jim.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Wait,
no way.
Can't be arsed.
The biggest fraud in Chelsea history.
I've dealt with that geezer. I've dealt with this geezer.
Of course, all I want to say is zero followers, zero people following.
3 goals and assists in 30 against the top.
Oh no, he's been blocked. He's been suspended, bro.
Suspended?
Yeah, he's been suspended.
Probably harassing people.
Because that's what happens when I was suspended. It says 0 follows, 0 following. So he's been suspended.
What did you get suspended for?
My question, real quick, right? So under the previous manager, as I was watching, let's say the first 10 games or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was very evident to me that it didn't look like Frank watched tape on the opponents. Like it looked like he came and
you know what I had with Frank? The only problem I had with Frank is his in-game management and the way he wouldn't adapt his tactics. Like last season, what we were seeing was
not only that. That's not what I mean. But like that's true. But even coming into the game, it doesn't look like he would set up. He fully set up how he wanted to. He did not care what the opponent was doing or what they did in the past. But now you can see that every single game he sets up. He's watching these previous teams. He's seeing what they're doing, and then he'll set up the way to counter that.
Yeah, I think one game that highlights that as well under Frank was Tottenham.
Tyrese's point about.
Does anyone remember Tottenham, the very first game we had against Tottenham this season?
Yeah.
When Tammy Abraham was up top, and he missed a few sitters with his head.
Oh yeah,
And Tammy Abraham did not get subbed till I think it was the 79th minute. And if it proved that if Olivier Giroud was in that field, I think a good 20 minutes beforehand, I think we would have seen a different result. We would have seen a 1-0
the game for me was that Leicester game where you knew their midfield. Like I've said this before, their midfield for me is probably the most balanced in the Premier League. You know how good it is, and you're trying to play 2 attacking 8s like in a midfield 3.
Tammy was playing
and leaving so much. You left so much space, man. That honestly, you could have fit a Boeing 747 in it.
Yeah,
that was the game. I liked it.
Bro, you mean an A380 in there because there's so much space.
Honestly,
but yeah,
you
said earlier about how Tuchel were going to come and play at it, right? I feel like because now we have this assurance that our manager actually watches the games and he will set up to counter them. That's why I have the confidence going into each game. I wouldn't say I have the confidence to win the Champions League, but every single game we like that is coming up, like this Porto game, I'm confident, right?
But bro,
Porto game, I'm confident.
But
that game we need a lot of creativity because they're gonna set up the lowest of the lowest blocks. The very lowest.
But listen, Doug, I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah. What wins the Champions League? A good defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily. Like, I think we do have a problem in the final third in terms of missing chances. But like, if you look at some of these results, yes, some of these draws cost. The 4 draws on Tuchel just down to bad finishing for sure. But I tend to realize when these starter games, the guys tend to turn up and actually score 1 or 2 goals. Like, you don't have to win a Champions League 3-0. You can win it 1-0. You can win it 2-0. You can win it on penalties. I don't want us to go to penalties, but it doesn't have to be a massive score. But we always tend to score enough goals that would get us through to the next stage. So the goal scoring to me, finishing is a concern because we do need Haaland, and we'll probably like to see some more 4 and 5-0s because Everton we should have beaten Everton 6-0. We should have, but we just didn't have our finishing boots on that day. But it was still a good game. But I think the way we're defending right now, I think we could actually go and win the Champions League. I'm not gonna lie. Like Man City are the only other team. They're the only Man City are the only team left in this tournament that defends as well as us.
Show us the money, bro.
Oh, I mean Champions League. Champions League. There's no one else.
Here's a question. There was a report about Haaland today. What did it say?
Sure, bro.
No, there wasn't a big report. It was just that Madrid might have some interest in him. But don't take it too seriously because I guarantee you every week until the end of the summer, all you're going to get is just there's another update on Haaland. There's another update on Haaland. But it won't be anything too serious.
But guys, Madrid
have no worry. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking as well.
Guys, I'm gonna jump out, Luke.
That's fine. Like, we're about to wrap up in the next few minutes anyway, so
cool, man.
final thoughts.
Big up to all of you, man, and money mace. Let's go.
Big up, guys. What's everyone's final thoughts anyway? Scott, we'll start with you. We'll go around.
I just feel good about the rest of the season. I think the fact that we can have these debates about who starts, like whether it's Mount, whether it's Ziyech, whether it's Pulisic, whether it's Hudson-Odoi playing as the front three or as a right wing back or whatever, I think it just shows that we're in a good spot. Like you don't see other teams having this debate at the minute because either their starting 11 is kind of set in stone, or they're not in the best form, and I think that's just a good sign. Like it just shows that we have so many options. And it shows that if something does happen where someone gets injured or someone isn't on the best form, someone else can come in and do a job. And I think we're in the perfect spot. And as we've said this before, I'll say it again. There's no reason why we can't win the Champions League and the FA Cup and finish top 4 this season. Absolutely none. If there is a reason, it's because we're not finishing our chances. That'll be the only reason we don't do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dag, any final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, can we pin that comment by Kozilla? Because that's straight facts. Right, big up Tyrese. He's the only one that said it from the jump.
He's not the only one.
Yeah, big up you too, bro.
He's not the only
big up, man.
From the jump, man. From the jump. I mean, final comments is. I mean, again, what Scott said. This is the best situation that we want to be in, right? I mean, we're on a 14-game unbeaten run. We just need to keep that going, and we need to keep the positivity high. None of this today has. There's no negativity today. That's what I love about it, right? And as long as we're winning, man, it's gonna stay like this, man. But up to Chelsea, and let's keep the winning run going.
Yeah, accidentally X'd out. My bad. Tyrese, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I don't get like why so much guys think that we can't win the Champions League. Like I'm not getting too overcarried because I'm not getting carried away because usually when that happens, you know, we tend to jinx it. But the way we're defending right now and the way we're playing. This is our new manager bounce, by the way. This is proper football that we're watching. But yeah, as Scott said, the only thing that there's no reason why we can't win both the FA Cup and Champions League. But the only thing that can let us down is our finishing boots. And I feel more comfortable when Olivier Giroud is playing. I don't know because if we feed him well, he's the one finisher that will always give us a goal. So yeah. I just want to see us see out the season with a trophy. It doesn't have to be both the FA Cup and Champions League. That's the bare minimum for me. I mean that's getting a bit too carried away for me for doing the double. But just to get us a trophy and top 4 will make me happy. Maybe even push for the second spot. Why not? Because but yeah, I'm feeling really positive with the way we're playing. Really good football.
Fabio, what about you? What's your final thoughts?
I honestly think this is the best run we could have gone on with Thomas Tuchel, to be fair. That the results just showed that we could actually progress and we could get good results against Man City. We could get good results against Porto, and we could potentially get ourselves into another final. And honestly, this is the best feeling I've gotten since the 3-1 Arsenal defeat. I think that was the worst. That was one of the most embarrassing defeats I've ever witnessed us as Chelsea face. But yeah, the only question is how clinical we are. That's the only problem we have. I think against Man City, the most they'll score is 1 goal. The most they'll score. So if we score 2 goals, I think that's a guaranteed win.
Yeah. I think we could get past City, you know.
I honestly do, yeah. And that's the first time I'm actually having a good feeling against Man City. Because this wasn't the same against under Frank. Under Frank, I had no hope.
Let me just say this quickly, yeah. I just think like the way Everton played against Man City the other day, if we could give a game like that to Man City and we have more quality than Everton, we could get a result. Because in my opinion, Man City did not play well against Everton. They just got like they brought on De Bruyne. De Bruyne changed the game. So yeah,
I agree. But again, if De Bruyne starts, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I don't think it will. I think Thomas Tuchel will probably have Kante on Kevin De Bruyne the same way he had Kante on Bruno Fernandes. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that. He's known for man marking.
The problem is, it's not only Bruno Fernandes. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, Gundogan as well. Yeah.
Gundogan. It's only Bruno Fernandes and that Man United.
Gundogan, Phil Foden. That's the 3 people we have to look at. Yeah, Gundogan, Phil Foden.
Mahrez is sneaky. Do not.
Yeah, Mahrez. I forgot about Mahrez as well.
Yeah, no, I think
we're going to have a shithouse game against him.
I think their defense is not. I don't think their defense will be as big of a problem as people will probably make it out to be. I just think that the other teams couldn't bypass their midfield to even test their defense as much. So I think we will actually be able to bypass their midfield and actually test the defense.
The most important player is that Fernandinho or Rodri player or whoever's playing in that role in that. It's if we can get past him, it's fine. But the problem is they press their line is so high, right? But it's the fact that the second they lose the ball, in seconds they get it back, and it's really it's scary.
Their pressing is immaculate. That's one thing I have to say about Man City. But we press really well too. So this is going to be a tight game because we play very similarly, but they do have better finishers than us. But I think that on the day Chelsea at Wembley, they get the result done over.
If we get through their press the same way we got through their press against Atletico and Liverpool, I think this is a complete different game and it's gonna go our way.
Yeah, and I do know quickly before you move on, I do know that Thomas Tuchel over the years has been known for man marking. He put Andy Herrera to man mark Thiago in the Champions League final. He could do the same with to man mark Kante and Kevin De Bruyne. Because to me, Gundogan is a great player. I rate him, but I think De Bruyne does so much more for that team to me. So if we shut down De Bruyne, they get limited chances, and I've seen that against everything.
Honestly, I think this might be an unpopular opinion, but I do think Man City have had games where they've played without De Bruyne and they've been sensationally.
They want to league without him. They want to league without him. Don't get me wrong, they want to league without him, but we'll see what we can do.
I honestly think they operate a tad bit better without De Bruyne. Because I think when De Bruyne is in that field, they operate through him a bit more. But when they have De Bruyne out of that field, they operate through everyone.
Yeah.
So it's that unpredictability that they have without De Bruyne, that's what makes them more dangerous, in my opinion.
Well, hopefully we can get past them.
All right, cool. Afata, final thoughts, bro.
First and foremost, good luck to the ladies' game tomorrow. They got Wolfsburg at 3 p.m. And hopefully they progress to semi-final. By the way, secondly, looking forward to this national break. Like I can't be asked for the national break, honestly. And let's just keep this momentum, man. Like honestly, we're still unbeaten. Like we're playing really good. What's the worst thing that could happen to us? So.
I don't know. I mean, we had that unbeaten run with Frank Lampard, and then Arsenal came about, and then
that's the thing.
Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride, Lewis.
Exactly.
Wait, Lewis, before you end, you guys know that Mendy is not out on international duty because he has to get surgery on his teeth.
Yeah, on his teeth. Yeah.
And also on that note, lastly, I would like to say happy 7th-year anniversary that we beat Arsenal 6-0 at the Bridge.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Big up everyone who's been involved in the live stream. Big up everyone who's been locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button if you guys haven't done so already. We'll probably see you tomorrow. Depends on the news, but we'll let you guys know. Until then, take care, like and subscribe. And as always, up the shells.
Take care.